Have you ever heard of the 80-20 rule? It's a fascinating concept, also known as the Pareto Principle. This principle suggests that a majority of results, specifically around 80%, come from a minority of efforts, which is about 20%. Picture it like this. In a garden, merely 20% of the pea pods might be responsible for producing 80% of the peas. Or consider a business scenario. 20% of your customers may generate 80% of your revenue. Intriguing, isn't it? The 80-20 rule is a powerful concept that can bring immense clarity and focus, helping us identify the most fruitful areas of our efforts. It's a tool that encourages us to work smarter, not harder. So, you might be wondering, where did this rule come from, and how does it work? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the origins and workings of this fascinating principle. This principle was first discovered by an Italian economist named Vilfredo Pareto in the late 1800s. Pareto was a keen observer of society, and he noticed a fascinating trend. He found that a significant 80% of the land in Italy was owned by a mere 20% of the population. This observation intrigued him, and he decided to dig deeper. As Pareto continued to study this phenomenon, he realized that this 80-20 distribution was not confined to land ownership. It seemed to appear in various aspects of life and society. For example, he noticed that 80% of the peas in his garden were produced by just 20% of pea pods. This was the birth of the Pareto Principle, or as we know it today, the 80-20 rule. Now that we know where it came from, let's understand how it works. The 80-20 rule is a reflection of a common pattern found in life: imbalance. This principle, also known as the Pareto Principle, suggests that a small proportion of our efforts often leads to a large portion of our results. Let's take a look at some examples. In the business world, it's commonly observed that roughly 80% of sales come from just 20% of customers. This means that a small subset of a company's client base is typically responsible for the majority of its revenue. Now think about your health. Perhaps you've noticed that a small number of your habits, say 20%, might be responsible for a whopping 80% of your health outcomes. That could be your diet, exercise routine, or even your sleeping schedule. Even in our personal lives, we might find that a relatively small portion of our activities bring us the majority of our happiness and satisfaction. It's fascinating, isn't it? But what does it all mean for us? The 80-20 rule isn't a law, but rather a helpful guideline to manage our time and resources efficiently. This rule, also known as the Pareto Principle, suggests that 80% of our results come from just 20% of our efforts. This means that a lot of what we do every day might not significantly contribute to our overall success. If we can identify and concentrate on that crucial 20%, we can maximize our output while reducing unnecessary strain. Imagine this in your day-to-day life. It could be focusing on a few key tasks at work, spending quality time with loved ones, or even identifying the small changes that can lead to a healthier lifestyle. The beauty of the 80-20 rule lies in its universal application. From business to personal life, this principle can guide us to make wiser decisions and lead more fulfilling lives. Remember, it's not about working harder, but smarter. That's the power of understanding the 80-20 rule.